Hi friends, my name is Krishna. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is basically on classification and periodicity of the reconciliations. Before I talk about classification and periodicity of reconciliations, I just wanted to give a clarification to all of you. These videos are basically meant for the freshers and who recently joined in multinational companies or in any company for that matter in R2R process, so that they can go through these videos and understand the process and proceed with their day-to-day work. This is not meant for very experienced people, because they know in and out of reconciliation process. I don't require to explain to them, right? So this is one important note I wanted to make it very clear to all the people, that this is meant only for freshers or graduates who are willing to join any multinational companies. It will be very useful for them. Okay, right. Now let us move on to the topic: classification of reconciliations and periodicity of the reconciliations. What do you mean by classification? How the classification can be defined? Generally, these classifications are defined in two different ways. Some companies, what they do, they define the classification of all the reconciliations into high risk, medium risk, and low risk. Some other companies, they don't talk about high, medium, low. They call it as key and non-key account reconciliations. End of the day, one and the same. Key reconciliations are basically high risk, and non-key can be medium and low risk reconciliations. But what you need to understand here is reconciliations have to be classified into three categories: high risk, medium risk, and low risk. How do you define the high risk or medium risk? That is important, right? The definition of high and medium and low risk is mainly depends on the dollar value and the number of transactions being posted into that respective GL account. For example, cash and bank. Huge number of transactions will be posted in cash and bank. Do you agree? And value of the transactions are also high, right? So cash and bank transactions are can be classified as high risk. Trade receivables, trade payables, these are all huge value transactions, huge value accounts, and these can be classified as high risk. But can they be also considered as medium risk? Yes, it all depends on the dollar value. If the dollar value is less, for example, if I take one bank account, the dollar value is hardly, I have $1,000 amount available in that account, then I don't require to do the reconciliation as a part of high reconciliation, right? That can be done as a part of medium risk. But how do I define this? The answer is very simple. Your risk will be defined purely based on the dollar value and number of transactions being posted into the respective GL account. That is the basis for you to define the risk, right? How frequently we need to define this high risk, medium risk, and low risk? In general, majority of the companies, they review this process, risk assessment process on quarterly basis. Or some companies, they do this risk review on half-yearly basis. Some companies can do even on yearly basis. In majority, what they do is half-yearly ones. So what they do? What do you mean by review? The meaning of the review here is they will take the list of accounts from the trial balance to be reconciled and see how many transactions are being posted in each account. What is the dollar value of those accounts, closing balance of those accounts, and decide whether this account can be classified as high risk or medium risk or low risk. They need to go through that dollar value and the number of transactions being posted and decide whether it comes under high risk, medium risk, and low risk. It will be completely decided by the respective finance executives. They will go through that and they will review the process and they will decide, okay, for next 3 months or next 6 months, these accounts I am classifying as high risk. For next 6 months, these accounts I am classifying as medium risk. These accounts I am classifying as low risk. They will decide and tell us these are the accounts to be classified as high, medium and low. Once this classification is done, the most important point we need to keep in mind is periodicity. Once the classification is done, how frequently you need to do or when we are supposed to do the reconciliations. For example, high risk. It all depends on the books close. For example, workday 3 is the books close. I don't know how many of these companies will close by workday 3. I'm just telling you. Workday 3 is the books close. Here one underlining point. What do you mean by workday? Working day. That means you should not consider Saturday, Sunday and any public holidays. Company holidays, you should not consider them. So those days are called work days. So workday 3, if the books are closed, then high risk can be completed by workday 5. 2 days time. Medium risk can be completed by workday 12. Low risk can be completed quarterly once. Is there any hard and fast rule for this? No. Again, it depends on your reconciliation policy. If your policy says, my GL books gets closed on workday 3, all my high risk reconciliations have to be completed by workday 5. They are giving 2 days time for you to complete all your high risk reconciliations. What you need to understand here is how many high risk reconciliations I need to perform within 2 days. You need to understand that as well. If there are 200 accounts or 300 accounts to be completed within 2 days, which is practically may not be possible, right? You need to think how many staff I have, how many reconciliations I need to complete within 2 days, whether the timelines decided in the reconciliation policy is appropriate or not, and decide the day when you are expecting these high risk reconciliations to be completed. So forget about all those things. Anyway, that will be a part of your reconciliation policy, and the company CFO and company finance executives or controllers, they decide, they let you know when you are supposed to perform the reconciliations. In general, high risk reconciliations will be expected to be completed by workday 5. Again, there is no hard and fast rule. Some companies can do even workday 8. So don't go with the workday 5. I'm just giving you an idea. Workday 5. Medium risk reconciliations can be completed by workday 12. They will give you enough time for you to complete medium risk reconciliations. And low risk reconciliations can be completed quarterly once. Why quarterly once? For example, if I take investment accounts, right? Investment accounts, there won't be any transactions on monthly basis or daily basis in that account. You already made an investment, maybe long-term investment for 5 years or 10 years or 15 years. That amount will be lying there only. And there won't be any additions or deletions in that account. So you can do that reconciliation maybe once in a quarter or once in a half year also. Equity. What additional transactions you keep posting to equity on monthly basis or daily basis? Very, very few transactions. There won't be any transactions. Forget about few. There won't be any transactions. So equity, why you need to do on a monthly basis? I can do it on quarterly basis. I can do it on even half yearly basis. Right? So your reconciliations will be decided, timelines will be decided completely based on the number of reconciliations to be completed in one particular day. If high risk reconciliations are very less, you can ask them to complete it on workday 5. If medium risk reconciliations are too many, then you can ask them to complete it on workday 12. If the low risk reconciliations are very less, then you can and number of transactions are very less anyway, you can ask people to complete them on workday, quarterly basis, right? This is how the periodicity will be decided. So what we need to understand here is, once the risk is defined, you need to understand these reconciliations are completed during the timelines defined and given to you. If workday 5 is the last day, you have to complete, approve and submit. If workday 12 is for medium risk reconciliations, you have to prepare, approve and review. Everything has to be completed. So that is how the process is to be followed, and you should make sure that you are following those timelines and ensuring that all these reconciliations are completed within the timelines. Right? Next one. Most important point, you need to keep reviewing these reconciliations. I mean high risk, medium risk and low risk on quarterly basis or off yearly basis, and decide whether the risk previously defined is okay to continue or are there any changes to be done. If there are any changes to be done, please make sure that you change those risk factors accordingly and ask your people to perform the reconciliations accordingly. Right? So this is how the risk factor and periodicity will be decided. This is very important. That's all for today's video. If you like the content, please like the video, subscribe to my channel and share this video with your friends and colleagues. That will be helpful for others as well, and also it will be a motivation for me. Thank you so much.